I think sometimes we critique without critiquing. Where okay,
Right.
the positive critique that I'm getting back pushes me to take my skills to higher heights. Or everyone think I did so good, but I don't look back. I thought I had a typo. Ooh, no, let me switch it. So, is this you calling? Hello,
Hello?
hello. Oh,
Sorry
okay.
about that. I pressed the wrong button.
Oh,
Sorry, I had to put my headphones on and my ear had pressed the button, the call button. My bad.
no, you good. So, so with that being said, I'm thinking not just from a business aspect of this is what we can be. Also, what about pushing people to different heights where if not a business outright, groom individuals to become copy editors, groom individuals to step up their diction, to step up their to evolve their writing style. And I know for this month, I did the writing challenge for this month. One of the questions that I asked, what influences your writing? You know, when that pen touches paper, what is your influence and what do you commit to? So me personally, my influence is ambition, and I commit to inspiration. So when I'm writing, there's something I'm ambitious about. Either it's a rhyme scheme that I want to mess with. If it's a concept I want to make as vivid as possible,
Hmm.
that's that's my ambition. I commit to inspiration. So, and I found that being committed to inspiration has pretty much knocked writer's block out.
Okay.
So I can confidently just write something right now, or I can confidently just write it a line at a time until I feel like, okay, I'm done.
Right. Yes.
So, but these have been my thoughts for nearly 2 years of what we could be, um, what we could specialize in on a individual scale and on um, the macro scale that just involves all of us.
Absolutely. And since I believe Imani is the founder, right?
I'm
We
a,
would have,
Give
yes,
her
so,
I'll give her the credit as founder because I don't know anybody else. She's the most
right.
vocal of it.
Yeah. So I just have this idea of putting her in so that
Mm,
she can assist us because I do know that she does have her own jewelry business aside
mm,
from the writing. So the thing I found with writers is all of us are very creative with so many outlets.
mm,
We are writers, we're poets, we're singers, we're dancers, we're models, we're actors. We have our own businesses, even mini businesses, things like that. So I would definitely love to connect with Imani. It's been a while since I spoke to her and just tell her, my idea with this
mm,
because she is older and, she's more seasoned, she's more experienced. So she would know how to go about to help us.
mm. And what's
But I would
beautiful is,
definitely, yes, I would
mm,
definitely want her to be in the forefront.
oh yeah, it's a must. That is not there.
Yeah.
Because I think the reason why I'm like I don't know if she was founder because the way she, at least unless I go back and dig deep, so as memory serves me in this current stream of time, she led me, or I'm sorry, I was led to believe, though not founder, she was almost immediately bestowed with the authority that she has over WBAC. Because I think it began March or April of 2016. I know I joined at the end of May.
Me too.
So And by then, I mean, we were just, um, I think we have a potential, because especially when you think of businesses, you have to be really successful in one location before you can even think that you may be halfway decent in a second, third, fourth location. By us being worldwide, if everyone commits to it, we have the potential to really become an empire out of nowhere.
Right.
You think to the WWE, it is a global phenomenon, but that was Vince McMahon, at least the one that we know. Once he bought the WWF from his father. Okay, let me take one W out, and then he just bought out all other, because wrestling they were just in regions, and he just continued to give everybody else a check, and they gave up their respective regions. And he came back and denounced them for that, but again, that was his business scope. But then you had Walmart, that these are worldwide phenomenon that had to start in one location and then aggressively work their way to the top. We, on the other hand, if it's real in a realistic and aggressive way, we commit to it. We can grow to be an empire out of nowhere. And has that ever been seen in any aspect of what constitutes an empire? No.
Right.
Not even world empires. I mean, political empires there.
Right. We have, I feel like it's definitely more than potential than we have, because all of us have pulled our weight. You know, we have these writing challenges, and then we are already connecting with people who own their own publishing companies. Like recently, I forgot what her name is, but she was recently added to the group. I think that Imani knows her, and this lady has her own publishing company. So there are many people, and then I know that, I'm sure that you already know Carl Nichols. He's based out of, he lives in the UK. He lives in the UK. Yeah, yes. He's an artist, and I remember him getting on me months ago. Like, he always calls me by my last name. It's never Natalie, but he's like Shields. I think he likes my last name, but he's like, you have to do this. You have to be a musician. You have the voice, and you need to buy all this equipment and stuff like that. And I'm like, Carl, you know, I'm not a musician, but now I started to recognize, now I understand where he was going with this. You know, somebody actually told me that I was going to own my own business one day, and I thought about it, because these jobs today, they don't care about us. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care if you had a death in the family, about your schedule or what. So I think that, above all, it really is nice, at least to have something on the side if you do have a job. It's kind of like a backup plan. You know, you can work for yourself, and it'll make life a lot easier.
Because I just seen it with an assistant supervisor who was fired last month, and she was fired for the same. Yeah, she was fired for the same reasons the other assistant supervisors are still working. You know, it's one of those things you hate to be like, oh, that some racism was involved, but truth is truth. So okay, so she wore a dress. Now, it was inappropriate based on what her assignment for the day was, and that was oversee the cook line. You don't want to wear a dress around hot food. But at the same time, you said nothing to the white assistant supervisor who looked like she came from Yo Gotti's slumber party. You know what I'm saying? Dingy T-shirt, Michael Jackson's pajama pants. Or upon being hired, she at least let y'all know she had a situation. Mind you, I grew close with the supervisor. That is my friend. She also writes. I'm trying to pull her out of her freaking shell. When she does, then I'll definitely add her to the group. Um, but she had a situation where she broke up with a guy, and this
Okay.
dude, I guess he's sophisticated. He had people stalking her. Mind you, she's from Boston. She moved all the way to
Mm.
Rochester, where I'm at. And he got people checking for her here in Rochester. Now, granted,
Wow.
she's sophisticated enough to at least have a lawyer slash private investigator herself. So when dude gets too close, it's not safe for her to walk out the door. There might be times I have to call in. Fortunately, only 2 times in her tenure with us did that situation come up. And then she had a death in her family, her uncle. She had to fight tooth and nail because they weren't going to give her that day off because it's your uncle. What difference does it make? We have bereavement benefits. Now, on top of that, I understand they'll give you more leniency if it's a mother, father, brother, sister, son, daughter. But then blood don't make you family, it makes you kin. So the relationship, that could have been the father she knew.
Wow.
For all y'all know, y'all just, no. So it went from fighting for the day off to, could I get a switch? But if you get a switch, then you'll have to fly to Boston. And being that you have a tight-knit family, is anyone going to pull themselves together enough to get you from the airport? And it ended up the services ended up being in the evening. Ultimately, okay, we'll give you the day off. And then I'm talking about she getting pulled in the office for breaking up what could have been a fight. Excuse me?
Wow.
So, you know how long it's going to take for security to get to the kitchen, right? I'd be just dog. Or she's flirting with people because she's friendly and her eyes crinkle when she smiles. But you have supervisors that have confirmed had sex with employees.
Oh my goodness.
Or have full-blown relationships and cheat with other employees. So again, the hypocrisy. She was ultimately fired the day before her uncle's funeral. But she did land on her feet. She got another job.
Wow.
Yeah, but we had a conversation where she, besides working in the food industry, basically from teenagehood, she also had her catering business. Her clientele was amazing, and her work ethic unprecedented. At least of anybody that I know who's not Chef Ramsay. So I was like, "Oh, you need to bring that to Rochester." Granted, you gotta have your clientele, and you gotta convince people that their money will be well spent. Because you got a lot of movers and shakers out here. $20 for a plate. There's no seasoning. There's no love.
Right.
The price of the seasoning. Like, you didn't even pack this plate. You talking about $17.50. So, but all these things, it gets my wheels spinning because you want to be in an environment that cares about you.
Absolutely.
And if it comes to a business, you have to be willing to take certain risks so that you can foster love, respect, and care for your employees and those that will benefit from your goods or services. And at the same time, grow your business how you want it. You got to commit to it. You got to put in the work. But also really have the bigger picture and commit to it.
Yes. Absolutely. You do have to be committed to it because how else can it grow? I mean, it's something that you definitely cannot abandon. This has to be like your child, your baby. You take care of a baby, and all your attention is centered on that. Definitely.
And
so,
mhm.
Yeah, go on.
So it helped me to understand why Puff Daddy was how he was in the beginning, when it came to Bad Boy Entertainment. All in the videos, all on the record. He had to drive. He had to make it happen.
Yes.
So,
he's very
In
strict.
every video. Mm-hmm. Be in every video, in every shiny suit I could find.
Mhm.
Go to these college shows because I went to college myself. You got to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
And I think, if you look at the NBA, with these NBA owners and what they're allowing, they're not committed to goals anymore. I remember in Golden State Warriors when they switched ownership in 2010 on opening night. It was Joe Lacob. He said, he was pointing to the rafters. He said, "That is one lonely banner. We want another one. I'll tell you what. 5 years from now, we're going to compete for a championship." And 5 years to the day that he said it was their first championship ceremony under their ownership, and now they're sitting on their third championship in this era, their sixth overall. But that's commitment. They knew doggone well they weren't going to win the championship that year or the next or the next.
Right.
But they took risks along the way. Now the Warriors are super team. Yeah, outside of Kevin Durant, everyone was an unwanted draft or an unwanted trade. Steph Curry, all he can do is shoot threes, but he is lanky and short. He can't do nothing else. Okay, we'll take him. He is just talking to him is like having a conversation with a painted wall as it dries. Oh, we'll take him.
Wow.
Draymond Green is too small he's too small or too big to be anything. We'll take him. Sean Livingston done tore up his knee and has been on 10-day contracts for the last 3 years. We'll take him. Got yourself a championship. And then was 4.5 minutes away from winning a second championship. Kevin Durant lies about how tall he is. We'll take him. And now they just can't be beaten. That was commitment. Wow. That was commitment to what ultimately took a $250 million team, and now they're worth $4 billion.
Yes.
Are you willing to take those risks? Are you willing to live with a realistic yet ambitious timeline?
Yes.
So I think I am. So it really comes down to what business, what will you specialize in, and how you go about it.
Right.
So I would like to have a business because being broke sucks.
Absolutely. Right. Now, when you thought about your business, did you have like an idea of what name you were going to give it?
Wonderful Entertainment.
That's nice.
Thank you. I appreciate my cousin Will. I visited him last year, and I got to go back to visit him again. But because he has his business, a small business, in Detroit, Legacy PC. So, specializing in the sale and repair of electronics.
Nice.
So because I had shown him that I have a T-shirt, hashtag Team Wonderful on the front and Mr. Wonderful on the back. And I was like, yeah, I really want to establish my Team Wonderful. First thing he said was, you got a trademark? I said, what? Hit me to the website? Yeah. Well, he put the thing in. Okay, well, nobody has it. So you better hurry up and get that trademark. You know, get get your patent and all that good stuff.
Yep.
You want to make it official, right?
And it's good to know somebody that actually has their own business too, so that they can teach you the ropes and how to get there too.
Yeah. You're gonna need diversity. You're gonna need people that went to school. You're gonna need in the documentation that says they're qualified. You're also gonna need people that don't have the paper, but it's clear they're educated.
Absolutely. Yep.
So maybe he might have learned something more efficiently than you, and then you might have learned something more comprehensive than him.
Right.
So with Wonderful Entertainment, I've seen it to be a publishing, multimedia, publishing, production. Yeah, so far, publishing, production. Oh, and investment.
Nice. Okay.
Because I'm just gonna say, sometimes I get jealous in a way of I'm inspired. Warren Buffett.
Really?
Yeah. Warren Buffett. There will never be another person like him. Well, now I have to read up on the owner of Amazon. Since he just blew everybody's socks off, he's the first billionaire to be worth over $100 billion.
Yes.
So, but Warren, I mean, he was just a moneymaker since he was a kid. And when he bought Berkshire, that was just a railroad company. Now they're a conglomerate of all sorts. They're from Geico to Gerber. He's invested in almost everything that he can get his hands. Then takes a few billion, I think it was $8 billion, and invested that into the air industry a couple of years ago.
Wow.
And the way things are looking, he's gonna make almost double by next year. He is such a giant in economic history.
Big mind. Yep.
Yeah, that his he writes letters every year that goes to the Wall Street Journal, and it's accepted as Bible.
Okay.
Which I wouldn't go that on that side. I wouldn't go that far, but at least that goes back to taking those risks, committing to what it is that you want. You say, okay, I got this business now. I want to be a conglomerate. Conglomerates are the way to go. Successful people have more than one stream of income, and if you have more than one thing within your brainchild, one hand can wash the other. I could publish a book and then oversee the film adaptation of it.
Right. Well, all of this is good. You know, this is like excellent brainstorming on both of our parts, because I was doing some serious research yesterday about how to basically open your own business. So I was reading stories about how people, specifically women, had their own businesses and how they went about, and I started to write out a business plan as well as the name of the business. And I know that you can file online, you can go to the Secretary of State, You can get the tax ID number so they know who you are, where you're located, what you're doing, so that when you file taxes, you'll be able to. And then you would need the employee, I believe it's the employment or the employer identification number, et cetera, et cetera. I may have confused that with the tax ID, but I'm continuing to brainstorm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect with Imani. I'm going to speak with her over the phone, and I'm going to, so we can just all just put our heads together about this, because I would really love to work with you guys. And this is, I just feel like it's my calling, because I love talking to people and I'm all about communication and things. But, my biggest idea was interviewing people. Even conducting street interviews. I was even going to buy a camera. I don't know what these cameras are called, but they're like handheld. I don't know. It's so cool. Like, it's so cool. It's weird. But they're kind of like it's kind of like holding up an iPhone on a spoon. It's so weird. I don't know what those cameras are called, but I'm going to purchase one. And because I really don't want to use my phone for the street interviews, et cetera. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and I'm just going to ask people, their opinions about politics, maybe racism, sexism, colorism, whatever it may be, so I can get their opinions. I always wanted to speak with Tommy Sotomayor. So whenever he's in Chicago, I don't think he comes out to Indiana. So whenever he's in Chicago, I'm just going to touch base with him and speak with him so that we can just talk.
Now that's ambition.
Yes.
Gotta have one person, hey, if I run into you on site, something beautiful is going to come of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Montego, I'm a little bit tired. I did a lot of research, but I'm going to give you a call sometime over the next couple of days. But I am going to speak with Imani maybe before the weekend is over with. Okay, right. And we'll just touch base again. But it was nice talking to you. Thank you for your information, for all of your advice. You have a lot of knowledge, and that's why I reached out to you.
Thank you, and I appreciate you as well, Natalie.
Oh, not a problem. Okay. And I will speak with you later.
Definitely.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.